Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Quarantine here. I hope you're all having fun. I'm getting some social distancing in and there's almost no one out here on Easter Sunday, so very happy to be out on the trail. I'm on the Arizona Trail in Flagstaff, Arizona, and just really enjoying the nice cool weather today. Got a little bit of rain earlier, but it's not sweat weather. So I wanted to go over a little bit about my kind of day pack setup with the mountain bike. I know I've done a little bit about the mountain bike, but I got some updates on it I think you're going to want to see, especially if you're on a budget. There are some things you can do with the mountain bike if you have a sewing machine and some scrap fabric. I made this frame bag for $25. So check it out. I'm going to show you what happened. So I got the 2013 Trek 4300 disc mountain bike that I've had since late 2012 when I bought it, and this is my new frame bag. So originally what I wanted to do is figure out a way to carry my lock and a jacket, or whatever I'm bringing along, a pair of gloves, stuff like that. This bike has to go on trails, and I also use it for commuting now and then. So I wanted to fit as much as I could in the frame, but also kind of have it available for bike packing or whatever I want to do. So what I did first was I took a piece of some foam core and I made a template out of that. And so this is about 2 inches wide, you can see. And this, of course, kind of sticks out a little bit, but it doesn't really hit me. So it's 2 inches wide. Got a little nub on the front. That idea was to make it easier to sew. I think it made it harder to sew. And then just kind of goes up to the edge on all the sides. So I have Velcro around 2 places on the back, 3 on the bottom, and then 3 on the top, just to make sure that thing doesn't go anywhere. The fabric I used was actually vinyl banners from events, and so I got a couple different banners here. This one says Flagstaff, of course, because it was for a Flagstaff music festival, and then we have a Courtyard Marriott one on there. On the other side, of course, I had to make it say Riot instead of Marriott, so that was fun. But I thought about doing a roll top bag. In the future, if I do another bag, I might do that. But for now, I did just a simple zipper I got from Joann Fabrics, and it's a C&C brand. It's not even something I recognize, but that opens the whole way. It's tied right in front and back, so you can shove a lot in there. It is long enough to put a piece of paper if you fold or roll a piece of paper in there. And yeah, I have in the top, to make sure that this stays kind of rigid and doesn't flap around a lot, I have a cool little pocket, and you can't really see it, I guess, but there's a pocket where there's an opening on the back, and I slid a piece of plastic. I cut a piece of plastic from a Sterilite or Rubbermaid bin, and it's a polypropylene piece of plastic, and I shoved it in, a very long one, so it's actually stiff on the top here, which is nice. Another thing I put in there, which is kind of standard, I think, but I put some batting in the back and in the bottom, so that when my stuff's moving around in there, right now I got a chocolate chip cookie and a beef pasty, and all my stuff for my lunch today. When stuff is moving around, you're going over rocks, you don't want it to hit those pieces of the frame. So I did put a little batting in there for padding, and yeah, it's worked pretty well so far. I have not, of course, I'm not carrying eggs in there or anything, but it's worked pretty well. One thing to keep in mind, if you're doing a frame bag like this, well, of course, you do have to sew it all inside out and then flip it inside out, which was a huge pain in the butt. But another thing, just for laying out your design, whatever it is, make sure if you're putting your Velcro on here in certain spots that you don't interfere with anything else on your bike. So I have my Revelade jerry can here, which I use for tools and snacks, and then so I wanted to make sure that I don't go over that part with my Velcro on the top. On the back, I have this stupid little braze-on or whatever for the front derailleur, which I don't have anymore. And then on the bottom, I have 2 riv nuts that I put in there for my lower bottle cage. So I had to make sure that Velcro went there, and then the top ones aren't too much of an issue. But I've had this for a few months now, been rolling around with it, commuting, going in the snow, rain, sun, whatever. It's been working pretty well. You can see that the The ink does kind of wear off in parts, which I think is fine, and it gives it a little bit of worn in kind of bomber jacket appearance, which is, you know, I think it's cool to keep stuff going for a long time. The bike's been going for like 8 years now, seven and a half years, so it's going pretty well. I wanted to say I've had this 1x11 drivetrain on for a while. I replaced my Alpine 8-speed that blew up 3 times, and the 1x11 working pretty well. If you have an older mountain bike like this, something that you've been riding for a few years, you're thinking about upgrading the drivetrain, maybe you're not happy with the one that's on there right now, this Shimano SLX 1x11 I've been pretty happy with. It does shift pretty slow in those large rings. This one is a 42 tooth, so it is a little bit bigger than my brake rotor actually. It's a really big ring, but gives you great range, and that thing will slide right onto a 9-speed free hub. So go check it out if you're looking for something, and if you're looking to make a frame bag, you know, feel free to go in the comments section. Shoot me a line, ask me questions about it. I used a Singer 4452 machine, which is a heavy-duty machine that you can get at Joann Fabrics for like, I think it's like $185. I had them price match it, and decent machine. You can go through a little bit. It doesn't like going through a lot of layers of vinyl, but you can kind of like hand do it and make it go through a little bit. Designing the bag, if I had to do one more thing different, I would make sure that this front actually is not a snub nose. I would make that just a complete triangle on the end. It would be a lot easier to just run that all the way through and then you know, stitch over the end at the front if I was going to do it again. Thank you for watching. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. The bag has been treating me pretty well, and I'm looking at hopefully trying to work with some people in town, see if we can do a couple more prototypes and maybe get these on the market. We'll see. Thanks for watching.